morning. Good morning. Happy Thursday to you. Happy Thursday. This is Jesse, aka the Chicano Knox, coming live and direct real quick. I want to make this short. Just a reminder. Hey, yo. There's a lot of things going on in the world today. A lot of crazies running around. Just wanted to remind you guys, as you guys go to work, as you guys change diapers, as you guys are investing for the future, for retirement, anything like that, buying new tires, you know what I mean? Everything's expensive, you know what I mean? So I feel you, I'm with you, I understand. I'm just letting you know that there's a lot of things going on, and there's this new thing right now going around about Christians who are voting for Kamala Harris and for Tim Walz from Minnesota. I don't know if you know, but there's a lot of Christians going around these Facebook groups and these Twitter spaces and these Twitch spaces and these YouTubes and all these church groups, women Bible studies. You have to be careful, be mindful of where you are. I don't think right now Christians can vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz because of positions. No security. They don't want security. What do I mean by that? They don't want police. They hate police. They won't come out and say it, but if you have friends that are voting for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, you have to come out and say, you listen, do you want police in your own neighborhood? Do you want police patrolling and protecting? When you call 911, do you want police to show up? So they don't want security, okay? They have defunded and decreased the amount of police in the state of Minnesota and in places in California. Police right now, the police departments are down in terms of recruiting. I just saw a billboard here in Colorado Springs that says police department is hiring. Okay. I don't know the statistics in terms of how many police are on staff. I'm sure there's more than 60,000 plus in the nation, but the numbers are down. No one wants to be a police. Back in the NWA days in 1988, 1989, there was more people willing to become police officers during the time of F the police than it is right now. The damage has been done. The statistics are not looking good from what I saw. They want to replace Kamala Harris, and Tim Walz wants to replace police officers with robots. What I mean by that, these little things on wheels that are patrolling up and down, and they also want to replace police officers with drones. Okay, drones in the skies, and they also want to add more cameras on the street corners. So they want to replace jobs with more high-tech AI algorithms and more surveillance, basically. What's happening in the UK right now is basically what's forecasting of what's going to be happening here in the United States. The UK is under shambles. The UK is under Big Brother era inauguration type stuff right now, where you could get arrested for a post on your Facebook. You could get arrested and go to jail for stuff that you post on your Twitter, for the stuff that you post on your Instagram. It is not a lie. This is where we're at. Western society is finally coming down. The immigration crisis is number 2. Okay, number 2. Listen, if you have friends that are voting for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, the second point you want to bring up to them very nicely, you don't want to be jerks, very kindly, is tell them, listen, the second reason why I cannot support that ticket as a Christian is because net migration. There's a thing called net migration that is positive to the country. Every country needs a positive net flow of migrants who do benefit the culture, who does benefit society and the workforce and all these things. That is true. America is built on all kinds of wave after wave of migration, decade after decade in the 20s and 1900s during the Irish migration. And then during the Italian migration, okay? And then since the 50s and 60s, during the Mexican and South American, Central American migration. Right now, what you have is not a positive net migration. What you have is an overwhelming of negative net migration, where you just get a bunch of people suddenly populating the system, overpopulating the system, potentially overwhelming the system, and much more. You get scandalous reports of hypocrisy at the justice level. We simply do not have enough judges. Okay, we simply do not have enough lawyers. In court, when the immigrant gets caught and go to court, they don't go to regular court, like civil criminal court. They go to an immigration court, and you have to have a special judge for immigration judges. Last time I checked, there was only 6,000, 7,000. There was only several thousand, immigration judges. Very special type of judges. And we don't have enough of those to go around, okay? For every one immigrant judge, there's probably like 400 or 500 cases per judge on a given calendar year, which is a lot, okay? And that's spread out very thin. So, and there's more immigration people waiting in line for their court date that are like scheduled 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ahead of in the future. That's not guaranteed for them to show up. They're not going to show up to their court dates. So if a bank robber gets handcuffed and then let free and say, hey, your court date's in 2032, October 2nd, see you there, they're not going to show up. Okay, most of the time, statistics shows that most of these illegal immigrants don't show up. Okay, and the ones that do get a slap on the hand and they get let go free. Another scandalous report is that there's a hypocrisy right now in terms of the way justice is being conducted right now. Places like New York, San Francisco, especially with sanctuary cities, where justice is not being dealt with rightly, correctly, and that is simply unchristian. Not a good way, not a good look in terms of optics for these judges, for these prosecutors on attorney general type stuff. What they're doing is, like, let's just say 2 people get arrested. One of them is an illegal immigrant that burns down a house, right? And another person is a U.S. citizen that burns down the house. Now, both, from a Christian perspective, both to the full aspect of the law. They should be put in jail. They should be charged. There's restitution charges, all the kind of things, right? From a Christian perspective, justice needs to be dealt with to these 2 people. Now, what's going on is that the judges, in this case, the criminal court judges and the attorney generals from many of these sanctuary states and cities are laying the law pretty heavy on the U.S. citizen who burnt down the house in that example. And the second example, and the other one, is that they're not really charging the illegal immigrant pretty much with nothing. They're giving them a 180-day sentence. They're giving them, you could serve 80% of your time, maybe 36% of your time. You know what I mean? That's it. And then this has been shown over and over again. So that's the number 2 reason, as Christians, you should come out during your Bible studies and you should interrupt and be like, excuse me. Yes, as a Christian, I cannot vote for Harris and for Tim Walz based on these 2 reasons alone. And I haven't even got into the abortion issue. A lot of Christians are saying, Trump is not really an abolitionist in terms of abortion, and that is true. That is very true. He has shifted more libertarian with a small L, very small L libertarian in his views. But he's done us a great deal in terms of a lot of favors for the abolitionists. Now the ball is in our court. It's up to us to get rid of abortion. If we are really abolitionists as Christians, the ball is in our court. It's not in the federal hands. It's not in the Supreme Court hands. It's in the state hands. This is where we want it. It's in the state hands, in the local elections. A lot of Christians say, well, I don't vote for the federal because the federal elections doesn't matter as much as the local elections. And that's true. That matter more because they affect us more. So if abortion is really on the local ballot, like, for example, in Riverside, California, or in Phoenix, Arizona, or in Denver, Colorado, wherever you are locally, you have to consider, abortion means a lot more to me now as a Christian, and I don't want this around. This is our time. This is our time as Christians to stand up with one voice, with the solidarity of all the babies that have been murdered. Trump has done us a great favor by destroying the hedge of the enemy, by destroying the hedge of these evil dictators that created Roe v. Wade. He tossed it down. Now it's up to us to go in to crawl over the dead body of this toppled creature and to sever the head. Okay. And a lot of states have been embarrassing. Kansas has come out in more of a liberal slant, okay? And that's because times has changed on abortion. Times has changed. The culture is pro-choice. The senators and a lot of the leaders in the court and lawyers are pro-choice. A lot of the porn stars who work in the porn industry and the prostitutes are pro-choice. A lot of these immigrants are pro-choice. You have to consider the times are changing. A lot of the fault has to be blamed on Christians. We have done a poor job on discipleship. We have done a poor job in messaging, getting our message across. What do we really want? Do we really want abortion gone? Well, right now, abortion could be gone. It's up to us at the local level to get rid of it. Now we're not getting rid of it. We talked a big game. We said a bunch of stuff in the 80s and 90s, like, we're going to get rid of it once Roe v. Wade is out of the way. Now it's out of the way. Now look what's going on. Like, our game that we're talking is actually embarrassing. It's embarrassing. We're wetting the bed right now as Christians. The church is wetting the bed in three ways. One, by endorsing Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, because they are a pro-choice, pro-radical position on abortion on every level, and that is anti-Christian. That is unbiblical. At least Trump took away Roe v. Wade. At least Trump stands for babies. At least J.D. Vance wants to abolish. He has more of a abolitionist point of view. He's a semi-abolitionist more than Trump. At least Trump has more of a backbone on that. Where Kamala Harris does not give any comfort for Christians. Whether you're a Roman Catholic, whether you're a Protestant, a Reformed guy, a Baptist guy, whether you're non-denominational, there's no excuse for evangelicals to be supporting such a ticket as Harris. So I want Christians this morning on a Thursday, as they go to their Bible studies, as they go to their youth groups and all these things, the session meetings and to all these important church gatherings, you have to consider, listen, there's a lot of Christians around me that are voting for Kamala Harris, especially the young people, the youth pastors, the college groups, the singles groups. You have to speak up just a little bit, very gently, very kindly, very wisely. Keep it simple. 1, 2, 3. Right? 1, they defund the police. That's no security for us. Okay? Replace them with robots, drones, and cameras. More surveillance. Okay? Like the UK. No guns for police officers, by the way. Number 2, negative net migration. Okay? Overflowing the system. Scandalous reports of hypocrisy at the AG level per state, the sanctuary state. We're about to be converted to a sanctuary nation, by the way, if they get their way. And number 3, the radical position on abortion does not leave any room or any excuses for Christians to really support and get behind Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. And you could say, you know what, I don't like Trump because he talks too much. I don't like the way he talks. I don't like the way he stands. I don't like the way he looks or dresses or speaks or tweets. He's very mean and bombastic. He's rude and arrogant and prideful and blah, 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 blah. Okay, that might be true, but consider what I said. Facts don't care about your feelings. Consider what I said. And that's what I'm going to say. Okay? Alright, hopefully you have a blessed day. It's not Friday yet, okay? It's not Friday yet, so don't chill. We gotta make it. We gotta survive this election. We have to, because if Christians don't wake up, we're gonna be waking up in prison. If Christians don't wake up now, we're gonna be waking up in the jail cell. And a lot of Christians out there are stupid and dumb. thinking like, oh yeah, I want to wake up in the jail cell. I want to wake up. Like, come on. Like, they're inviting persecution. They're spray painting their forehead with the marker saying, shoot here. Okay. Those type of Christians need to wake up. They need to be mature. They need discipleship. They need to be taken out of leadership. They need to be, pushed gently aside and talked to. Okay. Let us Christians, adults in the room, help you, lead you to Christ in a more mature, godly way. Okay? And that's no offense to the weaker Christians who are watching this, weaker Christians who are not ready to hear such things. But listen, one day you'll be on fully waking up. One day you'll grow up, and we'll pray for you. Okay? But definitely wake up. Okay? Before it's too late. And I just want to encourage you these 15 minutes. All right? God bless. Go to work. And don't forget to get ready and go to church this Sunday. God bless.